apologies for coming on here a little late. It was harder to get on today. I think because I'm just getting back into the swing of things, to be honest. But doing a Wednesday check-in. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing great. And I literally just came back from Orlando, Florida late last night and just getting back into the swing of things. So please bear with me and just happy to be back and live doing this. And I hope everybody's week is going great. And before I hop into today's episode, I do want to encourage you guys to do two things. One, today is September 11th. So I want to encourage you guys, please, to, honor and remember the people who tragically lost their lives on September 11th in 2001. So almost a little over, you know, over 20 years ago, not almost, over 20 years ago. So please just honor and respect people today, because today is still a traumatic thing for a lot of people. And two, I'm not ever going to get too big into politics on here, but I do want to just really encourage people who are not registered to vote to register to vote and go vote. I had the privilege to watch an interesting debate last night, and I'll leave it there. I won't get into any opinions on it, but I do want to encourage people really get out there and vote this November. Because your vote can make a difference, and that's how you know anybody who has an opinion, that's how you can voice your opinion and we can get freedom. So those were my two things. But with that being said, I do want to talk about today's episode. And today's episode, I've kind of discussed it in previous episodes about where I believe physical um, discipline, physical working out is very important, but I believe mental toughness is, if not more important, at least the bare minimum equal to physical activity. So today I want to discuss, mental toughness, because people I've talked to and people I've just you know learned to be around lately, they've been being tested, being challenged, and it's hard sometimes on the mental. So I want to discuss how can we become more mentally tough to get through challenges, or a workout that we're trying to get through, or just life in general. So I always like to give the definition of things. So, like, exactly what is mental toughness? And mental toughness is a personality trait that determines your ability to perform consistently under stress and pressure. And so, these are things that can be related to your qualities that you have, such as your character, resilience, grit, and perseverance. And that's something that we all, when you, if you haven't already, like I discussed in a previous episode, face adversity. I don't believe we can get through or develop mental toughness until we overcome our adversity. So I want to go through 7 C's that will help us overcome and develop our mental toughness. So the seven C's, I'll list them, then go into deeper depth with those. Is one, competitive; two, confident; three, control; four, committed; five, composure; six, courage; and seven, consistency. So just getting right into it. Number one, competitive. I truly believe competition is a great motivation. And, your goal always should be is to surpass yourself, because I've said this before, and it's a you versus you always, every day. It's never good to compare yourself to anyone. It's always good to have an accountability person there with you, but it's always between you versus you. And competition is great though, because it brings out the best in people and toughens up somebody's mind. So I always believe competition is good, but it's never great to compare. Number two is confident. Confidence is a product of hard work. It's been said before that preparation brings confidence out of somebody. So it helps people perform better as well. I looked up a quote that Benjamin Franklin said, and it stated that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So, whether you're an athlete or just somebody trying to reach your goals, usually whoever wants it more usually is the person that wins and will get what they're striving for. So, training hard is also a prerequisite to success. And number three is control. I believe that, having control, whether that be your emotions or just how you are going about a certain situation, that's going to be the biggest key to getting also to developing your mental toughness. Whether you're angry, whether you're feeling frustrated, having control of your emotions and your mind is huge, because it's also stated that whether you're working towards something or you're training towards something, the way you work hard and the way you fight is also the way you're going to train and show up. So, working on your strengths and also working on your weaknesses is going to help you give out your best. And one of the, if we're talking about on a biblical sense, one of the fruits of the spirits is self control. And having self control over your emotions is so huge and so key. So number four is committed. There another quote that I've seen is, if you have goals and dreams, you have to want it badly. You have to take it. And as I stated before, also there are going to be times, probably many, many times, when you feel like quitting and giving up, but you have to be strong enough to power through it. And you have to remember, what you're working towards and why you're doing it, because commitment is very important. You know, that's usually what separates people from whether they're going to reach their goals or not. The results are usually good if you focus on achieving whatever goals you have. And the biggest thing I feel like too with commitment is when you feel lazy to, work out or finish, cleaning around the house or just getting goals done that you've set for yourself, just think about your goals and realize how, sitting around will not take you there. A prime example for me is I got in back from Orlando, Florida late last evening, and I didn't really necessarily feel like unpacking last night. So I didn't unpack as much as I should. Today, I unpacked most of everything, and then I was like, I don't feel like doing this. But I'm like, why not just get this done, get it out of the way so I can get things done that I already have planned throughout my day and not prolonging and dragging on um, the unpacking that I have to do. And hello, God bless you all that are tuning in live. If you're watching this live, just say live. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay. And for those who are just tuning in, I'm going over 7 C's on developing your mental toughness because I believe it's something we all need and what we strive for because mental toughness is very important. And I'm on number 5, which is composure now. And composure is usually how one can manage their emotions, which can determine whether you're going to win or lose. And that can be whether we're talking about in life or just, towards your goals. And I believe the best way to deal with mistakes is to keep one's cool and focus, because keeping your head cool when there's a fire going on in your mind is so, I think, overrated at times, but it's such a great, great skill because there will be times when your patience is tested. I've been there plenty times before, but keeping a cool head and keeping your composure is so, so important. And number 6 is courage. And sometimes I feel like uh this is so overlooked because it takes a lot of strength to have courage, especially when you're going through something or you're very fearful to do things or do something. Having that courage is so, so I believe so very important and overlooked. And having heart, I also believe, is one of the most overrated things um, in life. But the person usually with the bigger heart, I believe, wins in life. We're all going to be tested, whether it's by someone who sometimes we can't stand, but God calls us to love those people, even when it's hard. And I believe me, I struggle too with that. So I believe too, though, no matter how difficult it is, we're called to do that. And a very famous coach, Vince Lombardi, said the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. So work hard and give it your all because that's when you'll start to reap the reward of what you've labored. And number 7, which you'll hear me talk about this frequently throughout, this podcast, is consistency. And really, it's always going to come up because consistency, that was even the last episode I have, is just such a huge part of everything in life, having that consistency to get through. I believe above all the C's I've talked about today, consistency is what um, is going to go down the drain on our mental toughness if we don't follow through with it. One should be consistent on hard work and perseverance. I'm going to repeat that again because this is key. One should be consistent on hard work and perseverance when we feel like giving up and we don't want to strive forward. On that other side is what we need before we get to that other side is that consistency to persevere through what we're going through. And we'll see that, man, that consistency, that even though I struggled, even though it felt like I didn't know how I was going to get through, that consistency pulled me through. So I believe that that is one of, if not the biggest key um, on the C's for our mental toughness. And y'all, before I know I wasn't gonna make this episode too long because of just wanting to get back into the swing of things. But before I end this episode, I do want to state that, I know that um if you are going through something, whether that be, a challenge or something that is discouraging you, uh, you're going to get through it. I believe nothing lasts forever, whether that be a storm or sometimes even good things in our life. And if we want to take it, from a biblical standpoint, because I will always state that I'm unapologetically a believer in Jesus Christ. And if you're watching, you'll always hear me, whether I'm looking up something in the Bible or just stating, what I believe is whether you believe it or not, there is an enemy or the devil that is attacking us on the daily. He wants to kill, steal, and destroy, and he doesn't want us to know our worth and that we're valuable. He wants us discouraged and hopeless, because when we're hopeless and discouraged, when that's in our mind, our mental, we're negative, and we don't believe that we can provide any valuable, or believe that we're worthy to have the desires that God places in our heart, or that what he even says, that we're loved and one of his children. So to overcome the devil and the attacks of the enemy, I encourage you guys, to pray daily, be in your word, be in the Bible daily to overcome the lies that the devil says about us. And that is the great way to overcome and to strengthen our mental toughness. So I hope you guys got value. Anyone who just came on, you definitely can catch the replay. I'll have the replay up on my YouTube channel. And I just wanted to make today pretty brief, but just remember that, God sees what you're going through and he's helping you develop your mental toughness every day. So with that, you guys, I hope you got value, and I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday and a great rest of your week. And as always, peace, love, and blessings. See you guys next week. God bless.